And I want to talk about why I choose to live here in Korea over India, or being scared that someone will come and attack me. Like, I don't have to live with any of that fear over here. There's no pressure to save up for a wedding or a car or kids. The money that I earn is completely mine. Just a quick note before we dive in. Everything I'm sharing here is based purely on my personal experience living in both India and Korea. I'm sharing my story and my perspective based on what I have been through. There's no way to be real with you and not offend anyone, so I'll just say it as it is. And if it angers someone, I can deal with it. Like, just write it in the comments. And despite everything that I've mentioned here, both places have a really special place in my heart, and I'm looking forward to hear your thoughts or stories if you want to share about it in the comment section. Hi everyone, my name is Sans. I'm from India and I live in Seoul. I'm at Han River right now. It is so beautiful over here. One of the most common questions that I get from people who watch my channel or people who meet me for the first time, people who have known me for a while, the question they ask me is, do I ever plan to go back to India, or do I plan to stay for the rest of my life over here? Because I recently got the Korean permanent residency and I passed the naturalization exam, the Korea Yongsium. I'm in the process of applying for Korean passport. So a lot of people have been asking, do I actually plan to stay in Korea for the rest of my life? Based on like a lot of soul searching that I've done recently, because of, asking myself like my cultural identity, and in general I'm a person who overthinks a lot of things. So I had been pondering upon this. There might be people who are watching my channel for the first time. Hi everyone, my name is Sans. I'm from India. I don't know which lighting is better, so I just propped up my camera. I am 100% Indian. Until the age of 19, I was living in India. And then I came to Korea in 2017 under the Embassy Track Global Korean Scholarship Program. For my bachelor's degree in computer science, I graduated from Yonsei University. Then I got a job, started working here. There were a lot of times where I thought about like leaving Korea, thought about pursuing my master's degree somewhere abroad. Before coming to Korea, I used to live in Mumbai. Well, it's not really Mumbai. It's a suburb called Thane. I lived there from age 7 to 19. At the age of 19, I ran away from home. I mean, when I say ran away from home, planned out my escape to get this scholarship, which enables me to safely go to Korea and start to build my life over there. And I want to talk about why I choose to live here in Korea over India. Yeah, the skyline behind me, it's so beautiful. The first reason is I have a pretty complicated relationship with the country India itself, because living there, I never felt welcome. After having graduated from high school, I had no idea about like what to do with my future, but there's no guidance. From my family, there's no guidance. From anyone in my vicinity, there's no guidance. And I don't even want career counseling. I just want someone to understand me when I'm like spiraling. And it's like so much financial pressure on a student, because I know my parents' financial situation and they can't afford shit. I have this insane feeling of guilt mixed with sadness that they have to pay for my education. Even the fact that they had to pay for my tuition for the drop year when I studied at Fiji, like the whole situation just angers me so much, because there's so much pressure on me. They're expecting some return on their investment, but I don't want that fucking responsibility. That is why I was so motivated to get a scholarship. I don't want you to pay for any of my things. And if you are a high school student living in India, you know exactly how I feel. Like, there's nothing but competition. There's nothing but pressure on you to perform. Like, everything is your responsibility. It feels so fucking powerless. Like, everything is outside of your control. My perception of India is like, it makes me feel fucking powerless. But when I came here to Korea and I went to university with these students from Yonsei, there are so many programs. It's like the government supports you. I completely understand that our country is a developing country and we are really far from a developed country like South Korea. In India, they systematically make you feel powerless, like the whole society. In Korea, of course, the students do feel powerless, but at the same time, there's intervention from policies from government to kind of help you and support you. Like, there's so many scholarship programs. Back in university, this guy who was so close to me, he originally came to Yonsei being supported by his parents, but in the first semester itself, he got a full scholarship from some company. So the company was paying for his education. Same goes for businesses and startups. So many startup programs to support these companies that are just starting out. Like, there's so much support, but I haven't seen much of that in India. I hope there's no bugs over here. It's like living in India, I even feel guilty about having any expectations from the country or from the government itself. Feel guilty asking for anything, like they make me feel guilty. But here in Korea, it's a reasonable expectation. Like, my education is free. It's a reasonable expectation that if I'm a company that's just starting out, this government program or this other big company program, that they're helping me out. But in India, it's like I can't even expect there to be Wi-Fi at the airport, cannot expect them to fix the road. It floods the hell out of the city and people die. Citizens can't even expect to live safely in India, and that bothers me a lot. Like, you can go outside and get bitten by a dog or be attacked by a cow. This has literally happened to my mom. I can never give up the safety aspect, and that makes it worth it for me to live here. It's like 10:25 at night and I came out for a walk at Han River. I feel literally zero fear. I might feel a little bit scared of being judged because I'm recording. There's zero fear of being attacked, of being kidnapped. Each time that I've traveled to India, when I come back to Seoul, I just feel so much relief and I start feeling thankful for, living over here. The pollution and the physical tax of existing in major cities in India, the air pollution, noise pollution, light pollution, like the cities are unlivable, and I feel like I'm the unreasonable one to ask for more, to ask for better. And that is what I hated about living in Mumbai. So I was like, okay, fuck it. I don't even want to be in a place, because if I want more, if I want safety, if I want to have a good life, and this city is incapable of giving that to me, that city is not my home. I feel the same emotions with my family. They are not the ones that are capable of giving emotional safety and love. I don't want anything to do with them. The second reason is family drama and family issues. Like, I don't have a good relationship with my family. Currently, I'm not talking to any of them, like even my aunt or my soul sister that I was in contact with. To me, they are all completely unreliable people. And if I can't rely on someone, I can't expect them to be here for me when I am there for them. That doesn't constitute as a relationship for me, and I don't want to be a part of that. When I think back to my life, how it was when I lived back there, I can't come up with any positive memories. Like, there's no positive memories. Even memories from school, memories from childhood, most of them are negative. And that is why every single day I'm doing the completion process, because there's so much to process, and I'm so thankful to Teal Swan for having created that process. I'm sharing this on the internet and not to the people from my family, because every time I talk about something real, they invalidate my feelings, reminding me how much better I have it compared to others. But does having it better compared to others make the trauma, the nightmares, the limiting beliefs, or the feeling of hollowness or emptiness? It doesn't make it go away. In fact, forcing me to get over the issues, get over the past, distracting yourself by focusing on the positive, it makes it so that you will never be able to overcome your issues. And that feeling of hollowness and emptiness, that feeling of death, will always remain with you. It will not go away until you actually face the reality. As someone who does this completion process on a daily basis, I know that it's really the smallest of things that creates these limiting beliefs in the subconscious mind. And there's no way to move on from it until you actually face it and work with it. Keeping in touch with my family makes it unable for me to be in reality, so it is much easier to not talk to them. There's so much pressure, especially on a girl, to get married, to have children, to start a family. And I know myself, I'm completely not ready for any of that. If I had continued to live in India, there would be so much pressure on me from my family. They love to pretend to be evolved, but they're not beyond the expectations of society. My belief is like a marriage of two people is so lonely. Two people having one child, and it's just only two people taking care of that one child. This system is broken, and it makes every person in the family feel extremely lonely. People who are pretending to make it work, I know for a fact they are just pretending to do it, and it is actually not working. I'm gonna sit over here. There's pressure on women everywhere in the world to get married and have kids, start a family, to have a family and be successful in their careers, which is impossible in my opinion. No one can be both. No one can do really well. No one can be, at the top of their game doing both at the same time. And yet that is the fucking expectation. And this is so annoying to me. Until high school, my parents completely did not allow me to date anyone, even scolded me for having a boyfriend. Now, the only thing they want to know from me is if I'm dating anyone. Why in the first place did you create this fear of men within me, and now you expect me to have a man in my life? What the fuck is that logic? Living in Korea, there's different types of pressures. There's pressure to look good, pressure to be in a relationship and have a boyfriend. But because I'm not Korean, I will always be an outsider here in Korea. I don't take any of the Korean societal pressures personally. Let them expect what they want. I'm not gonna live up to anyone's expectations but my own. Keeping this mindset would be much more difficult if I lived in India with my family, because they will definitely not allow me to live alone. So the pressure that I have living over here in Korea, I can deal with it. Like, I can take this pressure. There's also pressure to succeed, but it's like that pressure I've put on myself because I'm ambitious. I want to make something of myself. Safety as a woman, like, as you can see, I'm literally sitting here in a park on the grass. The last 2 hours that I've been chilling over here in Han River, and it's after 9 p.m. No one has bothered me. It's not threatening to exist over here. So it's like I don't have to worry about my survival as a woman. But I bet in any other place, you do have to care about your survival. It's honestly really sad, and I wish that India would also change, that Indian men would take responsibility for the safety of women, or like everyone in the society would take responsibility for each other's safety and not be perpetrators, not be the ones that we have to be scared of. I'm idealistic like that. I can wish for things like that. I completely believe in manifestation, and it is my reality right now. But I wish that it would also be the reality for many women. Just this aspect of safety itself could be like a huge motivator for you to come to study or work here in Korea. Freedom of existing in public without being followed, commented on, or hollered at, or being scared that someone will come and attack me. Like, I don't have to live with any of that fear over here. The cleanliness, the convenience, the safety. These are 3 huge reasons why I find myself happier living here in Korea than in India. Also, like, I love the fact that I can just wear anything that I want to wear without having to second guess myself or having to care about my safety. I can wear mini skirts, shorts, sleeveless. I can experiment with fashion. I can be kind of crazy with my fashion over here. Not that I am crazy, but I could if I wanted to, because there's that creative freedom. There's this creative freedom that I've never felt in India. Back in India, I always had to worry about my safety, deal with other people staring at me. I think this can be kind of offensive, but when Korean people look at me, I don't really care about it unless they're giving me a dirty look, which is like almost never. But in India, because everyone has huge eyes and expressive faces, the staring is much more palpable. I don't know how to express it. It's like I can feel it more. When it comes to the social aspect, I was fucking lonely back there, and I'm still lonely over here. Like, it's still lonely, but I feel in control, like I can do something about it. Every week, 3 times a week, I'm doing co-working sessions. Ever since I've left my job, I'm doing co-working sessions, so I'm like not working alone. I still have people around me doing stuff together with me. And then I'm also doing my builders and creators community on every Thursday. I was even able to partner with this cafe called Cafe Curious, which is owned by Perplexity AI. There's so much like room for experimentation. There's so much room for you to explore yourself and be yourself that I've never experienced in India. In fact, I would be fighting my parents the whole time. I would be fighting society. I would be fighting them to allow me to, let's say have a cat at home. I would be fighting them to allow me to stay outside the house beyond 8 p.m. Like, I would be fighting for these little things. I would also completely understand from their perspective, because it's dangerous to be outside. I'm the anxious type of person who overthinks so much. Their fears completely make sense to me, and their fears become my fears, and the fear just doesn't allow you to live your life anymore. Also, like, career-wise, I feel so blessed to have started my career over here. I'm earning so much more than I could have earned if I lived in India. I consider myself to be a lucky person, and I consider luck to be a huge part. There's way more opportunity to be lucky over here than it is possible to be lucky in India. Since I worked in tech here in Korea, I earned 2 or 3 times more than what I would have earned living in India. That's why I was able to save up a lot and leave my job and now pursuing my curiosity full time. Of course, living in Seoul is expensive. You earn more, you also spend more, because cost of living here is high, and Seoul is one of the most expensive cities. It is manageable. You must also know how to manage finances, how to invest. Buying a house is not a dream that I have, so I don't worry about that. Getting married is not a dream that I have, so I don't care about that. Of course, there's goals that I have that I save up money for, but those goals are mine instead of something that is expected of me because I'm a certain age right now. In contrast to the loneliness, there's so many upsides like the freedom. There's no guilt trips about sending money home. There's no pressure to save up for a wedding or a car or kids. The money that I earned is completely mine and I spend it on anything that I want, like clothes and makeup and skincare, things that I genuinely like. If you're on a spiritual or awareness journey or self-improvement journey, I'm telling you a fact. It is impossible to improve your life quality if you're still living with your parents, who are the ones who have created the patterns within you that keep you stuck. If I were still living at home with my mom and sister, like I would not be over my anger issues. Anger happens when they cross my boundaries and I don't know how to communicate it to them properly to not do that. If I'm dealing with like so much rage and anger, that is definitely not going to go away if I continue to live with them. Having that anger is serving me. The only way it goes away is if I'm outside of that environment, like if I don't have to deal with people who are crossing my boundaries. There's no way to get over your coping mechanisms if you still have a need for it. Obviously, Seoul is not perfect and there's air pollution problem here too, especially in spring. The air pollution from China, yellow dust and the misemonji, it is still so much better than Mumbai. So it is true that I left India for opportunity, for a better education and a better life. If I continue to live in India, I wouldn't have access to even 1% of the opportunities that I have right now because I would be spending all of my energy on just surviving. I have a feeling I would most likely become obese, unhealthy and unhappy. And the whole time I would have to pretend to be a good Indian girl without ever having explored what my truth is, without ever having experienced what it feels like to fulfill my desires. If there's anyone watching this video for a sign that they should leave India for a better life, I would say totally go for it. If you feel called to a city like Seoul, it is totally worth it to come over here and live here. Of course, there's gonna be problems like language barriers.
Korean is not that hard to learn.